It's 11 o'clock. We can start this baby off. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, depending on how things are going. So the purpose of this workshop is to cover in detail, step by step, the tactical, the why, the how of this particular technique, this particular tactic, right? In big picture, the objective here is to leverage active and engaged either Facebook groups or Instagram accounts that dovetail with your niche. You want to get access to that attention and the potential buyers that they control. You know, you offer the admins of the Facebook groups or the owners of the Instagram pages either a print or an original to give away at your cost to their group or page. In return, you get access to the attention, potential buyers, you know, that they have control over. And there are some rules to this. And you got to play this thing to win. So the baseline rules, if you want to win, number one, the way to think about this is it's just a creative way of advertising. You can spend money on ads on Facebook or Instagram, or you can spend the money on printing and shipping. And so I think when you think about it through that lens, you look at it that way, it'll make sense. That's number one. Number two, this is a numbers game. No matter your niche, there are hundreds to thousands of either Facebook groups or Instagram pages that you can contact here. Not all of them are going to respond to the ask, so you just don't worry about that in the slightest. You want to contact a whole bunch of them to find a good fit and to get enough responses. And, you know, I use my Craigslist mattress analogy, and I'll give you two analogies that I think tell this story. One, okay, so, and I do this every time I've sold anything on Craigslist. I love Craigslist. I had a mattress. It was sat in the garage. We needed to get rid of it. We thought we were going to keep it. It was there forever. And I said to my wife, post an ad on Instagram, free, come pick it up. What did I end up doing? I told her to wait. Don't read any of the emails until there's 50 of them in there. After there was 50 emails in there, I'm looking at all the various different emails, and some are asking questions, and some are asking how old it is, and some are asking if there's stains on it, and some are asking how long it's in your garage. And then I read one email that says, I will be at your house in a truck in 15 minutes, no questions asked. That's the one I responded to. And guess what? In 15 minutes, they came with the truck and that thing was gone. No questions asked. All I had to do was open up the garage. 2 seconds later, it was gone. It was a seamless transaction. I've done that with Craigslist every time I ever list something. And so that technique applies here as well when you're contacting these. It is a numbers game. You have to get the numbers up. You can't just contact two and say, well, you know, this, no. I'm talking 50. I'm talking 100, 150, 200. You have to contact a whole heck of a lot of them. So you have the basis for comparison, because there's going to be a lot of nuance in what they're responding to. And you're going to get a bunch of different like comments and questions. So that one's really, really important. It's really important. This is a numbers game too. This is number three. This is a numbers game. You need to go into this tactic committing to running it at least 3 to 5 times, 3 to 5 different Facebook groups or Instagram groups, curator accounts. They're interchangeable, whatever one you decide to do. Preferably, you commit to doing it 7 to 10 times, because what you're going to find is that some are going to end up being duds, some are going to end up being okay, and hopefully you find a hit. You're looking for a hit. And only trying this once or twice is not going to give you the good enough odds to find a hit. You need to run a couple of them. So some of them are going to fall. You're going to fall flat on your face. It's going to be the biggest waste of time, energy, money, effort ever. You're going to be like, why did I do this? Because you learned and you realize that one's not a hit to find one. It's all about finding one. Number 4, if you find a hit, realize that you now have a relationship. So you nurture it so you can go back to the well again and again throughout the years to come. The relationship is a huge, huge win here. So let's get started by going over how to both find good groups and good Instagram pages to contact. Then we'll go over the script that you use to send them, examples of the script. Then the negotiation takes place, okay, on how the whole thing's going to go down. And then we can get into sort of what to watch out for and be mindful of. Let me get over here to the screen share so I can share my screen. All right, here it is. Okay. All right. So I used the golden retrievers example, and I'm going to stay on that one for now. Okay. So I'm on Facebook, and you basically just go to Facebook, search, and then, you know, I'm going to type in golden retrievers. Let's just say your niche was golden retrievers. And you scroll right over here to groups, right? And I might as well get my little epic pen thing I have that draws on the screen. Hold on, this thing's booting up so I can draw. All right. And so once you get in here, you've got this list of groups. Now this is for any tactic, for any niche, any keyword. You can try and find things that dovetail with your niche. If your niche is really difficult and there's really no easy way to describe it, then you're going to have to get creative. If the groups are the way to go about it, if you want to do the groups. So I would say, be creative here. See what you find. And when we do this, we're looking for a couple of things, right? Like one, we're looking for the post a day, right? And 1.4, 20 posts a day. So too small, not good enough. 30 posts a week, 290 posts a day, 2 posts a day, probably not big enough. I gotta go back to the pointer here and scrolling down. Let's get rid of that text. So you want to just kind of see, which ones have really high action and which ones have really medium action. And then after you find your list, you just want to join a whole bunch of them. Join. That's way too big. Join. And you join the groups. And this is on Facebook. And so you just join, you get in there, and you just observe for like a week and a half is what I would advise. The last thing that you want to do is go in there and instantaneously hit the moderator up and say, let's do this. I want to do it. No, stay in there for a week, kind of get an idea of who the participants are, kind of get an idea of what they're posting inside of the group. Okay, so that you sort of have a feel for what's going on in there. And no one likes someone that just shows up and instantaneously asks for something. So you have to be in the group for I would say at least a week. Like and comment on a couple of posts. Share something potentially that's not spammy if you're so inclined, if it's in your niche, and kind of get a feel for it first. Like don't just jump right in and dive right into it. So that's what I would say in terms of the Facebook groups. Now, once you get into the group, okay, and also too, like the comparison thing here applies as well. Like on some of these groups, you're going to see a situation where it feels like they're running affiliate deals. Like, maybe if we're on the dog thing, like maybe a chew toy company is in there and it looks like they're open for business. Like, hey, Golden Retriever Puppies group, we have a special discount on such and such chew toys. So those signals might be popping in some of the groups in which you can say, okay, these guys are clearly open for business. Like they're willing to play ball. Others, it'll just be post and it won't be there at all. So that can potentially happen, and those are issues. Now, what I want to show you is how you go about contacting the individual admins. And don't worry like you need to take notes or anything. This video is going to be available after the fact. But hold on, that's not what I want to do. Let me get into the groups here. Small wins. So in the instance of small wins, and then I'll show it on another one too, because it's a little bit different. What you see here is you've got this little members box in the right-hand side. And this is after you joined the group and you've been approved to the group. And some groups will make you jump through some hoops and like fill out a couple of forms. And some of them ask for your email address. Just do it. It doesn't matter. You can get out of them in 2 seconds. But what you see here is the members. And there's this little link above the members. It says 2,197 members. So if I click that, you can see here's all the admins and moderators in this particular group, right? So we have 20 in this one because, we have our whole staff in here. Most of them will just have like 1 or 2. And you can see admin. And, after you've been in the group for a week, it's helpful to, if there's a couple of different admins, try and see the one that like, you're like, okay, I can have a conversation with this person. This person seems cool. Like I'm kind of vibing with what they're posting. That's how I would go about it. But it's very simple. From there, let's say Ross is my guy. I hit message, this pops up, Facebook Messenger, and right in here is where you're going to post your text, the script. So it's that simple. And, it'll be a little bit different for each group. Like one of the things I'm super into, let me just see where my groups, hold on. One of the things that I'm super into personally is I have 2 small kids. And so I have this cargo bike, right? And it's a killer bike. It lets me put both of my kids in the back and then just like go wherever I want. So I'm the member of this Cargo Bike Republic group. And you can see in this instance, 7,000 members. Okay, so I look at this and look, there's just one moderator on this one. And so this pops up sometimes too, because you're like, wait a minute, you just showed me this message button and now it's not here. This is some sort of wonky setting that this guy's got on here. And I don't know what it is. So all you do is you just mouse over his name, up this thing little pops, and you hit message, and now I'm into a conversation. So that's how easy it is to do on Facebook. And so that's how you do it with the Facebook groups. Now, I would say big picture, it's sort of a toss-up on which is the better one to go after, the Facebook group or the Instagram curator pages. It's literally a toss-up. It really just comes down to, what's the most on brand, on niche. And I would probably do some combination of the 2 of them, not just Facebook groups. I would probably do You know, I can stop the share for a sec. I would probably do some combination of the two of them because, again, everything comes to light and comes to terms here when you have the basis of comparison, right? Like what the people are asking for once the negotiation starts. So that's on that. Now I've got to share on my soft phone. I'll show on Instagram. I just see the one hand up. Let's just keep going and then we'll just deal with questions. We'll open up for questions at the end of it. So that's the Facebook group. That's how you contact the moderators, how you find them. Now I've got to find my little soft phone here. Where is it? Where is this thing? So I can share my little phone. Where are you? No, not Messenger. It says iPhone pad. I just have to share the entire screen. I'm just going to do that. Let's see. All right. Can you see can you see the phone, Taylor? Yeah. Okay, good. So here I am on Instagram. This is, like I said, it's a soft phone, but you can do this from your phone, from your iPad. I think you can even do it on the desktop side of things now. And you can see there's a search bar here, right? And so you can search for anything you want. I'm going to stay on the Goldens for now. And so I'm going to search for Golden, and that's probably enough to do it. And you can see up here, it says top accounts tags. What I want to do is tags. And so if my niche is Golden Retrievers, here I found a tag that says 21.7 million posts. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is where it gets interesting. I mean, Instagram is so amazing at just being like a content repository in this capacity. It's phenomenal. So once you get in here, you can see here's the hashtag. And then it also gives me a number of related tags. And so sometimes I'll start on one and then I'll start going down these rabbit holes too. And you'll be surprised what you could potentially find for your niche. So here we are at the top post. You can see it says recent and top. I always stick on top. And what I do is I come in here and I start clicking. Love puppies so much. Let's see this one. 1,900 followers. So that's an individual, probably celebrity pet. I don't like that one. This one's Nantucket Boss. Same thing, 7,000 followers. Not a bad count. I'm inclined to want to shoot for ones that have more than 10,000 followers, just personally. The dog sphere. Let's see this one. 1,400 followers. So that's not a good one. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Sometimes I like get right into the big ones. Golden's Universal. Okay, so here's one. I found it. 169,000 followers. I'm going to go ahead and copy their username, throw it into a sheet, and keep looking because this one, obviously, like 169,000 followers. That's a lot. That's a lot. And also too, when you find these things, I love scrolling down and just seeing like, okay, is it all just dogs, or are there any commercial items in this one? And when you see a commercial item, it could be anything, right? It could be like I said, like chew toys, or maybe they have like a pet cleanup thing. This one doesn't look like they're doing it. So this one could just be dogs all the time, but it's not a good thing or a bad thing. But it's just interesting to see like the ones that are promoting products in any capacity, they're open for business. But almost all of them will respond to messages. And so that's what I would do. And I would just go down this list and I would keep looking. Woofer with TV, 483,000 followers. These guys would be another good one. So, I'm just going to go through and I'm going to spend a couple hours doing this and just keep finding an account. Bodhi, the Golden Retriever. This is a glamour pet, but they've got 15,000 followers. So that's probably a good one. I don't know what this gobbledygook is here, but so you can, if the dogs is your niche, this is a simple one because there are so many different dog things. Burmese be like 83,000 followers. It's not Golden Retrievers. So I don't know why that one's in here, but maybe they're just tagging Golden. So that's how you find them on Instagram. And again, it doesn't matter what your niche is. There are a massive number of these, a massive number of them out there. And, the long and the short of it is I like the ones that have more than 10,000 followers, just as a general rule of thumb, because once you have 10,000 followers, you're allowed to link out of your stories, and that gives you some extra capability. But there's really no golden rule. Like, you only need 2 or 3 people to be of high net worth and art appreciative on here to work out and have it be a hit, right? So it's like, is there any, only do ones that have members such as this size or that size? There's no hard and fast rules about that, sadly. You kind of just have to experiment, and this is just why, again, it's a numbers game. But anyway, here I am on Instagram again, and here I am, and let's just say this Nantucket Boss is the one that I want to try and do the pitch with, and so I just hit their profile, I hit message, and I'm directly into a direct message with them right here. And you can post links in these direct messages, and you can send, it's sort of arbitrary, like Instagram says you're not supposed to send more than 50 a day, but I've sent more than 50 a day and had it work. So it's just kind of, hit or miss, but you can send up to 50 a day, let's just say, for the sake of argument. So that's how you contact them, right? And it's really, it's pretty simple. And let me just make sure I didn't miss anything in my notes here. Hold on. And I'll go off of this share for a second. And I would say, let me just finish the proposal or finish the presentation too. And then, if you want to do some like, well, hey, look for my niche, we can do that live, and I can kind of show you how you get creative with it. But there it is. That's how you find the Facebook groups. That's how you find the Instagram pages. And now you know how to contact them, right? So the next step is we get into this script on how this whole thing looks like. And, in the page, and I'll have to go into a screen share again. In the page, we'll have to, in the page that's in the resources vault where this thing will live after the fact. And let me just get back here. I share my screen again. Hold on. I've got a real world example, so to speak, that I can show. All right, let's just do the whole screen again. All right, pull this up. So in this case, this was from Matthew Locke, and he had an interesting situation in the fact that he, his niche is like he paints portraits, and oftentimes he uses famous people. And so he was painting, or he's got some show coming up where he's painting a bunch of Van Gogh stuff. And I looked at one of his stories and I saw this Vincent Van Gogh love that's following his account. And I was like, hey, did you see this guy? This Vincent Van Gogh love is following your account. And he's like, yeah, that guy shares things all the time. So boom, he sent him a direct message. Hey, I noticed you like several of my pieces. Thank you. I'm currently painting for an exhibition around Van Gogh that will be presented in June if the virus allows. I think we could work something together about it. Print giveaway, stuff like that. How would you like to discuss it? On a call? And, English is not Matthew's first language. You can probably tell that a little bit. And here was the response. So I show that to show an actual response of how easy this is. Like, we have a basic script on the page in the vault. And Taylor, I guess you can just put that in the chat, that you guys can find and do it. But it's really about opening up the conversation. That's it. I mean, I would say something like, whether it's a Facebook group or it's a page, hey, how's it going? My name's Patrick. I'm an artist. I'm a huge fan of your page or group, and I wondered if you'd be open to working together on something. I'd love to give you a free print original canvas of my work. Happy to let you pick it and give away to your group at my expense for some exposure. I'm trying to get creative with my COVID marketing. Open to any ideas, let me know. P.S. Here's a link to my site for reference if you want to take a look. Something that simple. The script portion of it is really, it's up to you. You can be creative, you can be cheeky, you can be funny with it, whatever you want to do. All you're looking to do is open up negotiations. That's it. You just want to open up negotiations and get the conversation started. And you want to do a bunch of them concurrently, because again, Craigslist, the mattress thing, you'll see kind of where they are and where they fall on the entire thing. So once the negotiations are opened up, and again, you want to send a bunch of these at a time. I mean, a lot, like, 50 and 50, right? At the same time. And then you've got all of these various different leads coming in, and then the negotiations open up. And, the numbers are so important, right? Because some of these people may say yes. Some people say no. Some people ignore you. The negotiations start, and some people are going to ask for money, and some people are going to say, I want to print and you can give one to my group. There's going to be a lot of answers all over the board. So again, I cannot stress enough how important the volume is to find the good one. And once you get into the negotiation, okay, you can have fun with it. You can get creative with it. What I find are the people that run these pages and run these Instagram accounts are, they're very prideful of their little community that they built. And so if you can reach the ones that say, hey, you've got a great community here. I know you probably want to establish some value to these folks, and then just shut up and let them do some of the talking. Like, let them do some of the talking and come up with it. And, anything's on the table once the negotiation is open. Okay. And there's going to be some good ones. There's going to be some bad ones. There's going to be some people that are international. There's going to be some people that don't speak English. So again, the volume here is absolutely critical. So let's talk about, and knowing that there's a bunch of creativity that can go down in any one of them, right? Like, again, some might say, yeah, okay, right out of the gates, they're just willing to do it. Fantastic. They're going to give you everything you want. That could be a huge win. Some are going to say, I'll let you do that, but you're going to have to pay me $100. Again, it's always going to be a negotiation. It's always going to be creative. Let's talk about what I would ideally ask for let's say we get into the negotiation, we get into the conversation. What did you have in mind, Patrick? What were you thinking? At a minimum, if it's a Facebook group, because the dynamics between the two are a little bit different. If it's the Facebook group, you want a link back to your site. On your site, you want to have the sale going on. Ideally, you say, hey, here's the print. Love to give it away for your group. Open to how you'd want to do that. If you want to make it a contest, if you want to make it fun, whatever you want to do, I'm here to do bend over backwards, however you want to do it. Once it's over, though, and you pick the winner, however you decide to do that, I'd love to offer a special time-sensitive coupon to your group members. And if your group is called goldenretrieverpuppies.com, then the coupon code will be Goldens Forever or whatever, right? Like you give them an ego coupon code after the fact for a sale. And just like, the print giveaway, you use sort of that same tradecraft, and you say, not only will I give you this print to give away however we're going to do it, but in addition, as soon as it's over for all those that didn't win, I'll go ahead and do a sale with a strong discount that'll last for a week or last for 48 hours, however you want to break it up. But there needs to be some scarcity to it, right? And again, you can get creative, but that is what you're looking for out of the Facebook group. Okay, you're letting them drive it. You're letting them do the giveaway. If they want to get creative, post your favorite puppy picture, and the cutest one will win. However they want to do it. These people are like, these are their little communities. These are their little villages, their homes, and some of them are going to want to get creative in weird ways. You don't care. You don't care. You're going to give the print away. You're going to ship it, or the original, or whatever it is that you're giving them. So you want them to do it however you want. After the fact, link back to your site, okay, and have that sale time sensitive. That is the ideal way to do it for the Facebook group, okay? That's for the Facebook group. Let's talk about the Instagram page. The Instagram page is a completely different monster because the Facebook group, it's pretty straightforward, meat and potatoes. Everyone understands Facebook. You can post links there. The link can go directly back to your site, right? And also too, I should say, on the Facebook ones, like, the experience pages could be a home run for this, right? Like you could do a special page, an experience page. You do not put it in your navigation. Our support can show you how to do that. And it could have your golden retriever piece all over it. Say 40% off the next 28 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever time sensitivity you want to do, exclusively for members of the such and such group. Thank you so much, moderator Taylor, for allowing us to do this. We love you. Like, you can be creative. The skeleton of it is an important part. What skin and bones, or what skin and hair and all that you put on it is really up to you. So that's for Facebook. Instagram, bit of a different monster, right? Not so easy, not so straightforward to link out of Instagram, but essentially we're going to do the exact same thing that we did on Facebook. So, ideally, in once the negotiation starts with Instagram, you want them to obviously post the piece, include your @handle, so to your Instagram profile. And so ideally, you're going to get a bunch of people that are going to come check out your profile. They're going to scroll through your photos. If they like what they see, they're going to follow you. So that's a big part of it. And so I would actually recommend that, let's say I contact the Golden Retriever puppy thing, and they're going to run a giveaway on Instagram. And, it's going to go on this particular day, such and such day, for the whole day. And the best comment or the best puppy picture, or whatever the rules are, however they want to run it for their page. I would change the language in my bio to reflect that this thing was going on for the day. And I'll show you how to do this in just a second. Then after the thing's given away, you want to make the same deal with them as a way of saying, thanks for even doing this. I'm willing to give a 48-hour sale, 30% off the print. You didn't win it, sorry, but here it is. You can come get it. So just like we did in the Facebook example. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask again for the @mention where they come to your profile. And it's very, very easy to edit your profile. I got to share my screen again. Hold on. Let's do. So here's this Art Storefronts dummy account, right? And so I'm going to edit the profile, right? And big giveaway going on today with @Art Storefronts. So I would actually link to their handle in your bio, right? Because this just strokes their ego a little bit. And I would save it, right? And then you've got that going on in your bio. I would also have a link to your website too. You can also check out my work here, right? Like whatever you have, whatever your personality is, and have your website in there. That's when the thing starts. Once it's done, you change all of this language, okay, to the discount available for them specifically. You put in that it's going to expire in 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever it is, and you have the link to your website, okay? So you're going to change the link in your bio. So that's how everyone's going to get there. That's sort of like the default basic thing that you're going to argue for, that you're going to ask for on Instagram, right? So the giveaway happens. You've got the link to your website. You're going to get a bunch of Instagram followers. Ideally, you get a bunch of people coming to your website, filling out your email capture, getting on the email list. And if you really do it well, you're also going to get a sale out of it, or probably some sales out of it. In addition to that, though, Instagram has got a lot more on offer. So fact number one, if you have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram, you can link out of stories. And so once the negotiation starts with the Instagram person, you want to build that relationship. You want to make them feel special about their community. You want to say, hey, Patrick, I'm totally thrilled to get as creative and have as much fun with this thing as you want. You know, we're all locked down, we're all sheltered in place and bored out of our minds. Here's what I would push for if I got my druthers and really hit it off. I would love to do a story where you link out of the story to my website. That would be fantastic. If, the minute the deal is done, the print has been given away, you're going to announce the winner on an Instagram story. On the next one, you can say 30% off, 40% off for my followers only for the next 48 hours. Use coupon code Golden Puppies or whatever it is, so they can link out of the story. So if you could convince them to do that, that's fantastic. You'd love to have that happen. And again, if the relationship is good and you want to make it as fun as possible, they'd probably be willing to do that. The real bonus, though, the extra bonus, and especially when some of these pages are huge and you sort of hope that they've not figured out the trick of Instagram pages and you sort of hope that they're comfortable being live, is you can say, I've got the print, I've got it here. Why don't we go live? I'll hold the print up. We'll do that split screen conversation that you can do in Instagram Live. I'll hold the print up. I'll show it off. Take questions. Talk about the piece if you want. We can give it away live. The key with the lives is all of their followers are notified that when they're live. And so if you're on some sort of page that has 100,000 followers, you're going to get a whole heck of a lot of people to that live stream where you're talking about the piece. And so if you can pull all of that off on Instagram, that's sort of the trifecta, right? So you've got the print giveaway going on. You've got the link in the bio. You've got them linking out of the story, and you're doing a live. Winner. You can't do any better than that. That is just a home run. It's huge. So that's how I would do it on Instagram. And that's like, one of the highest leverage things you could just do, period. Now, that's it. That's literally it. That's it. The key, again, the numbers. The key, again, you got to do this 3 to 5 to 7 times. And if you find one that works and one where they had a great time and one where the person is so stoked that won the piece, you can go back to that well every month. You can go back to that well once a quarter. And so that's the key. That is really what we're trying to find. And again, properly executed, you're going to get a ton of followers. You should capture a bunch of emails. And then ideally you get some sales, but it's extremely effective. The ROI might not be immediate on some of them. You might just build your list and build some followers, and then you get some people to purchase in Q4. It's still way more effective than trying to figure out and going into the Facebook and Instagram ads casino, right? And just putting your quarter and pulling the slots. This has a much higher rate of success, in my opinion, than trying to do that and show cold ads. So that's a great way to think of it. But again, a lot of these pages are going to be manned by weirdos, strange international people that don't speak English, people whose followers are all international. So the big first question that comes up is what to do if the winner is international, right? Now, obviously, that could be a big issue. So when you have enough of them in there, right, and you sent enough messages, you have enough options on the table, you try to go with one that's not in that situation. But worst case, you can do a rolled up print in a tube, right, and just ship it that way, right? The pitfalls, and there are some, can be best navigated by having enough people in the hopper that you run it with. And so that's what I would say. That's it. It's not any more sophisticated than that. It's the ones that win at this are going to not be shy, and they are literally going to send hundreds of these. I would argue if you send 100, you're probably going to be in a situation where you're going to get like 2 or 3 or 4 that are a really, really good fit. If you send 10, you're going to get one that's crappy, and you're probably lose your money on it. So That's what I would say. That's the technique in a nutshell. It's very important to understand. I mean, I saw early on there was like a lot of confusion. Like, do you do a giveaway on top of the giveaway? No, you need to give something cool and provide value for their followers. You scratch their back. I'll scratch yours. So I'm going to open it up for questions at that point, and we can go through one at a time. So just raise your hand. It's probably just best to raise your hand. And Ann's, you're first. Go ahead, Ann's.
All right, thanks. That was very helpful because I already know what I did wrong, actually. And I had to smile a bit because look at that. I'm just painting a commission of a golden retriever. Oh, so how suitable. Yeah. So that was just funny. But my question was actually, I'm recently getting bombarded by influencers, both on Instagram and via email. For Instagram, those usual deals. I don't know, $8 for 10.
I can stop. 100% of the time, it's usually BS. Like 99% of the time, it's that those are not going to work out. Or let me see if this works. I got my little soundboard here.
Because I tried.
Yeah. Here's what I would say.
60% of the time, it works every time.
I just made me think of that line. Yeah. If they find you or if they contact you, it's no good. Like the whole point of this. The whole point of this, for this to really work well, is like you're going on offense. If they come to you, I'm sure they're scam sites. So you want to find them, outward. Don't worry about the ones that come to you.
My problem was even the ones that I found. It was the same problem. I wrote in my little, out of the walls we had the little, this type of text you should write, and I wrote something like that. And I write better than I sound usually. And I almost always had the either ignored or this automated answer, one post, yada yada. And I sent back to a few the hey, but I have another pitch for you type thing, and no response. So it's just a waste of time, you think?
No, I mean, well, the ones that contact you, yes, but how many of them did you contact like outward bound on your own? Ones that you found, not ones that contact.
Not as many yet, because I was too confused with, and my problem was I thought I need to find somebody who fits to all of my art. So and I'm kind of, I have a localized art. Some of it is a little bit Southwestern, cactus queens and such. So I was on Facebook. I joined several groups, but then I ran out of groups because I'm like, well, there's not so many big local groups here. But now the way you explained it, I can just pick, say, those new hummingbird paintings and look for hummingbird groups or something.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so much out there, and on Instagram, like especially, like it's just crazy how many there are. So yeah, again, the only way this works is you have to contact a lot, and I mean a lot, and I mean way more than you ever thought you were going to contact. I'm talking hundreds. I would contact hundreds of them. And the good news is that no one's really doing this, and so you're going to fly in under the radar. And who cares? It's like the whole thing. Who cares if some get back to you, some don't? The only way you're going to get there is just contact a lot. So that's what I would say. Thanks, Nancy. Okay, Ben, you're up next.
Yeah, hi. So just for a little side thing, I did an Instagram promo and I got about 850 likes, and I started looking and started to try to do what you're telling me to do. And I looked at almost, I would say 85% of those 800 and whatever were all people that were photographers or painters or sculptors. They were artists. Obviously, those are not the people we're looking for most of the time, I would think.
Yes.
So are you just saying to go and like I specialize in water towers, New York City water towers, and I'm one of the few photographers that are doing it. I know for a fact.
Yes.
And so I put in New York City water towers, and who am I looking for? Am I looking for the art collector?
Yeah, so New York City water towers is interesting. I'm sure there's probably not that many groups about New York City water towers.
And what's happening with New York City water towers is that with all the development going on in New York City, they're now blocking those water towers. You can't even get 90% of the photos I've taken in the last 3 years. They're all gone. They're all blocked by big
Yeah, I get it. So I would zoom out. I would zoom out and do a whole bunch of just New York pages. People that love New York, that love the city, that love Manhattan, that love the various different boroughs. Like that's how I would do it. And that's probably a great angle too, because there's going to be some nostalgia for those things for sure. For sure. So that's what I would do, and then follow exactly what was in this workshop, and you'll do great.
I think you once said that you weren't into promos that much. You were more into the Instagram ads. Is that true?
No, not at all. Are you kidding me? I started the contest playbook. I love them.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I love them.
And should you focus on a certain age group? Because I think Nick said yesterday in the discussion, he thought it was better to go with like 35, 40 years to 65.
For sure. When you're running ads, yes. But for these, you're not going to be able to, segment that way, because it's a group or it's an Instagram page, right? So it's just the members are going to be what the members are going to be. But yeah, you just give it a shot. There's going to be pages that love New York City and pages that love that. Like there's thousands of those. Thousands. Yeah. Okay. They're all over. So so you'll do great. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Jenny McGee.
Yay. Hi.
Hey, by the way, I saw on Instagram that windowsill painted number that you did. That thing was awesome.
Oh, thank you so much.
I saw that. I literally saw that today. I've got my phone, kind of like, have like a phone on a selfie stick right by the side of my computer, kind of like it would be at the Apple store where the screen never turns off.
Yeah.
And I've had it just on Instagram the whole time. So I see what everyone's posting and I love it. So I thought that was a really cool piece.
Oh, thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. So 2 quick questions along that line. I wanted to jump into a series because we're all behind our windows right now that basically reflects my collectors and audience's views. So I'm asking people to send me their views and then I'm painting it and I want to paint them live. Mm-hmm. You guys are awesome and have really helped me get out of my shyness box with the whole live thing. So I've done 2 so far. I started
on Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook. On my personal Facebook page because of the advice you guys gave in terms of
followers.
Go to where your followers are, and most of them are on my personal. So I started that engagement. I feel like is so not awesome, but then I'm wondering, should I experiment now with a live that's about an hour long on my Instagram live, because it seems like what I'm hearing from you is that the ROI is a little bit better on that.
Yeah, it's the podcast that I recorded on the Instagram lives. You got to listen to that. And that was
okay.
It just came out this week. Taylor will put a link in the show notes.
I listened to it yesterday, and it really had awesome content. I guess my question from that was
the promotion. It's the promotion. So the chicken and the egg scenario with these lives is quite extreme, right? Like which came first? Like if you don't have high follower accounts on Facebook or Instagram, how are you going to get a ton of people onto the stream? If you're not, it's tough. So you have to promote the crap out of it when you do. But practically speaking, I would do Facebook Live and I would take my phone and I would get some sort of a stand and I would do Instagram Live at the exact same time.
Okay.
It's really, really easy. And don't overthink it either. Like no one has Facebook and Instagram live streaming completely figured out right now. Everyone is just learning. So, I mean, you look at Art Storefronts, like we're doing like 20 of them a week just so we can figure out all the damn tradecraft to teach you guys, right? Like it's so new. So there's also, there is such like a nuance and a tradecraft and a skill to it that to develop that only comes from just doing it. Just doing it, figuring it out, getting a little bit better. It doesn't even matter to you if you just have 1 or 2 or 3 people on there. That's fine. Just keep testing, get a little bit better. After you feel like you're really comfortable and you're really decent at it, that's when you start promoting it to your list. You set a time, you email your whole list, you post on Facebook, you post on Instagram, I'm going to be there. You send up smoke signals, everything you got, fire all your guns at once and explode into space status. And then you'll get more people on there for sure.
Okay, wonderful. And since we're creating on these lives all this great video content, is it worthwhile then to start a YouTube channel and start with that content?
Yes, it is. So just like this workshop today, I'm going to do one on the Instagram lives next week. Everyone's asking me how to save the Instagram lives. And so I've got to do that. But yes, you know what? I'm just going to go through the questions and then I'm going to show you guys how to do it right now. But I'm also going to do a workshop on it next week that goes through the entire thing, soup to nuts. So okay.
And I would love if there's a chance, doesn't have to be today, but kind of an audit on my Instagram in terms of some niche people to contact, the influencer niche for my stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard if you're in a situation where you're like, I couldn't even describe my work, right? And like I always say, it's the Google test, right? If you tell me in 3 sentences or less what I would search on Google to find your work. Ready, go. hard, right? It's hard. So if you're in that situation where you can't describe it, then it becomes a little bit harder, right? Like I don't know how I'm going to find a niche, but you could do the same technique with the Instagram interior designers that you feel like, you know, like really clicks with your style and you know, your taste, your modalities, all that. So you just have to get creative and get on there and execute on it. And there's so many communities on Instagram that there's going to be one that's going to be close to your niche. So that's what I would say.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And I really do love the windows. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. I'm going to mute this. All right, Stephen Cruz, go ahead.
Hey, two things.
Yep.
I've been doing the Instagram lives. Each day you've seen me out there. I'm getting more comfortable with it. You know, I'm feeling my way through it. So I'm doing this gallery, out backyard gallery, but should I announce it in the, you know, like an hour before, somehow get to my...
Yeah, after you get comfortable, like if you listen to the podcast, like the key is just you promote it everywhere you can. And it takes time, and it just takes time, right? Like, you know, we started just doing them and getting comfortable, and then we're constantly figuring out more ways to promote the hell out of them everywhere that we can, because we want to get as many people on them as we can. So yeah, just start promoting them. And like, look, it takes time. If you're just getting started, like you're going to be... I'm
learning.
Yeah, you're going to be playing to an empty crowd all the time. But guess what? That's the way it works. You know,
I'm not afraid to crash the car a few times.
Yeah. So that's it. And did you have another question too?
Yes. You mentioned that you could look at what the tags or you know, on Instagram. I've so far I've approached bodyboarding companies, shapers, surfboard companies, surfing contests. Like I even approached the ASF.
Yeah.
Or WSF. I mean, any other ideas of, I mean, who's going to be a buyer? I mean, I figure these are people that aren't artists, but they're like aficionados of surfing.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you're looking for.
Anything else that you would come to mind or approach to find more? Should I be?
Yeah, yours is surf, ocean, bodyboarding, skimboarding. You know, water aficionados. There's ad infinitum.
Body surfing. Sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah.
Body surfing. I love it, Stephen.
I'm trying, man. I'm learning. Thank you guys.
Yeah, you just got to stay at it, Stephen. You're gonna blink. You're gonna wake up. This dumpster fire Chinese virus is gonna be long gone. It's gonna be 3 years from now, and you're gonna have a business. And that's
you're thinking the right way on that though, because it's like, who's gonna put a wave on their wall like yours, right? Like as soon as you started saying surfers, body surfers, all that stuff, like I was like, yes, that's exactly who will do it for sure. I mean, with Pat, we grew up doing all of these things, right?
I still do.
We know this game. I know.
But yeah, just stay at it, Stephen. Okay, Trini, you're up. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm here.
Hey.
So you were touching a little bit on it with Jenny McGee just before. I'm having a really hard time narrowing down my niche. Basically, I'm a painter. I paint people. I paint landscapes. And so when I think about pages or people on Instagram to contact, I get a little lost there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any advice.
You could start. I mean, there's so many different ways to approach it. It's just you're literally limited by your creativity, and that's it. I mean, you can do the interior designer route. You could do home stagers are good ones too. That you know, just have people that love seeing like properly staged houses and like the art that way. You can pick one particular subject matter you have, because you know you have no clearly defined niche, but you have a bunch of niches inside that clearly undefined niche. So, you know, portraits, like go after some of the portrait galleries, like, you know, you can write it on individual pieces. Even, you know, like, you know, flower pages if it's flowers, or, you know, if it's portraits of, I don't know, women bowling, then, you know, bowling pages, right? Like
okay.
Yeah. Just.
So for instance, I do have like a painting I've done of a dog. So it's not like a typical subject matter. But would you recommend that I would then contact groups of dogs and say I have this one print?
Absolutely.
And then not care that my general stuff is not all about dogs, but at least take them to my website.
Chances are, like, if they like your style, like you have a style that you know your painting style, your colors, your detail, all of that. If they like it, chances are they're going to probably like a lot of the other stuff too. But even if they just like the dog and you get some good sales out of the dogs, then that could be a great way to do it. And also too, like in a situation like yours where you don't have a defined niche just yet, it's sort of like throwing a bunch of stuff up and then seeing where you get the action, right? Like you might just find out that, wait a minute, this particular thing seems to sell way better than everything else. Like, guess I need to start doing more of those, right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And you definitely win the headphone games. I mean, those things look wireless.
I just can't hear myself. So I'm yelling.
Well, okay. Good luck. Okay. Next is Kira. Kira, you're up. Go.
Hey, so my question was, if you're running more than one contest at the same time, how do you keep your people separate?
Good question. If you're running more than the same time, yeah, there's a couple of different ways, right? Like you're not so much concerned about keeping them separate once they get into your machine. I guess you kind of are. I would probably, if I was running multiple at the same time, you're just getting started. So unless you're getting a tremendous amount of volume, in all honesty, I probably wouldn't even worry about it. I would just let her roll. But if you do an experience page, Nick, can they put, how can we do that? Like, let's just say she's running concurrent contests, right? And some are coming to her homepage and opt in that way. And then we have them set up an experience page and they're going to capture leads that way. Is there some sort of way to tag them? Like, how?
Yeah. So, we have a template page. Like you set up a page for the giveaway and it's not your lead capture. It's like a giveaway landing page, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a form page. And so on that form page, you can say you can have it automatically apply a segment to anyone who fills out that form. So you will be able to know exactly who came in to that specific giveaway page. Awesome. So you would give the URL, the link to the specific giveaway page that's for the specific account that you're going after if you wanted to track it that way.
Awesome. That sounds great.
Okay. Love it. And by the way, that really warms the cockles of my heart to think you've got two of them going on at the same time.
Yes.
It's my day.
Me too. Exactly.
Oh, I love it.
This is exactly what I can't wait till somebody comes like, okay, who's going to do 3 now, guys? Yeah. Who's going to do 4? Who's going to do 5?
Yeah. Let's go.
Somebody get 5 in the water at once. Pat and I are going to flip out.
Yeah. Terry, you're up.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Okay. I'm a newbie and I have 3 very easily answerable questions. First of all, as far as a print giveaway is concerned, what size do you recommend, or what 2 or 3 sizes do you recommend? I mean, I don't want to give away the store.
Yeah, there's no magic answer there, right? Like, as I said in the presentation, the negotiation opens up and you're going to get every type of fruit bat, different personality, left, right, center, all of them. So you can kind of just go through it that way. But in terms of like, are you going to get more action if you give away an iPad versus you give away a pack of gum? Yeah, you are. So bigger, sexier, probably better. But at the same time, like, this is why we run the discounts, and the discounts, you're going to get prints for insanely cheap in comparison to other times. And when is that thing running till, Nick?
Which one?
The print discounts.
Through the end of April. In fact, it's probably going to go through May 10th or something like that, because I realized yesterday when we were all talking about it that the Mother's Day playbook is lined up right with it. So right now it's through the end of April, but it's likely going to be through May 10th.
Yeah. So you have to experiment. Like the reality is that there's no one size fits all answer. You kind of just experiment and find out what works best for you, what works best for your work. Like some contests will be a home run because you have the right group and it can be a postage stamp size print. Others where you give away, the store, a 60 by 40 gigantic, if the group sucks, even because you have a great size print, it's still not going to work, right? It's going to be a dud. So you kind of just have to experiment and give it a shot.
Okay, my second question, and you can tell I'm very new by the question itself. What exactly is an influencer? You made the statement before that 99% of the time, most of the influencers are scam or they're bull. What is an influencer?
Yeah, so that refers to Ann's question, and it's just a high follower count on Instagram. That's the easiest way to say it. Sort of what I advocated here are not really technically influencers. An influencer is essentially, it's a human, think the Kardashians, right? They're Instagram influencers, and people pay them a lot of money to show off the product or do this or do that. I mean, I think like the Jenner gal was like $1 million a post on Instagram. She's an influencer. You could sort of say, as in the pet niche too, there's like glamour pets that have like insane follower accounts, like amazing follower accounts, and people pay them money to do it too. So you can kind of say that's an influencer. What I'm talking about though are just sort of curators. They're not personality based. Okay. They're just showing images about a niche. And so those are more just kind of content curators rather than influencers, but semantics, potato. Instagram accounts, lots of followers.
Okay, my third question is, again, you can tell my newbie-ness here.
Good. We love newbies.
What is an experience page?
Go ahead, Nick.
Am I unmuted? Yeah. It's just a page type. When you're in the pages section in the site manager, it's a type of page that that is like full screen and kind of one of those long form, like scrolling pages you can build. They're really beautiful, and you can kind of, we call it an experience page because you can kind of give a visitor an experience like as they scroll down, you know? So it's just a type of a website page.
Okay. For example, as I'm building my website now, I have a gallery called Blue Heron, Heron, Heaven. Yep. And I've got 53 photographs. I don't know how many people want to see 53 photographs of blue herons. Anyway, would that qualify as an experience page?
No, Terry, you're brand new. Don't even bother with experience pages yet.
Okay.
It's just not necessary. Like when it becomes necessary, one of our team members will recommend it, or the opportunity will emerge. But don't worry about it right now. It's just too much, you know.
Don't sweat it now, and keep coming.
Don't sweat it.
And welcome aboard.
You got better things to do than build experience pages.
Yep. Dennis, you're up. Go.
Oh, good. First, Patrick, I think you would do well to do one of these nice pictures in back of you, like something that we're trying to sell to people. But that's one little thing.
Do you see what's back there actually? So my dad grew up in Hawaii, and so like second generation Hawaiian, I guess. And those are actually feather leis they used to kill birds, stitch together these like feather leis and wear them around straw hats. And so that's actually 2 leis. So it's a family heirloom piece. But other than that, I got an ugly window, but I will take it under advisement, Dennis. I'll take it under advisement.
I know just the place to get a couple of pictures too.
I bet you do.
Listen, I'm looking at my conversion chart, and the shopping page visit is 25. And then the product buying page conversion rate is 77%. But then the next one is 0 on all categories. Now, what does that tell you that I'm doing wrong?
Nick, go
ahead. What we would need to see it. I would take that, like post it in small wins. I think, I mean, Pat, I don't know if we want to get into that today. That's kind of a Tuesday, Thursday workshop.
Yeah. That's a Tuesday, Thursday question.
Yeah, Dennis, we're kind of focusing today on this specific strategy that Patrick was talking about earlier, rather than doing general consulting. But if you take that to the Tuesday workshop, this upcoming Tuesday, every Tuesday, Thursday is general like business marketing consulting. The Friday workshop is like a specific tactic to help people with this specific tactic. We can look into that. I'll look into it in the meanwhile for you. And we'll take a look, because we gotta spend a minute or two checking that out.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, you got it.
Kim, you are up. Go.
Hi. Okay, I started doing this, and I reached out to Facebook groups initially, and I paint a lot of endangered animals. So I've got this huge pool to draw from. I've got conservation groups. I've got groups that do individual animals. So I started with elephants. I've got, okay. When I reached out to about a dozen, and I got 2 bites.
Nice.
And it threw me off.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that I ended up going with, they wanted to tie a donation into the group tie a donation into the whole thing. So you couldn't win unless you donated, and it put a big blockade in the way this whole thing played out. And I ended up getting nothing out of it, and the whole thing ended up getting scrapped. So what would you suggest when I'm approaching this process?
Get scrapped? Did you have to give the print away or no?
No, nobody was interested. Nobody has money right now to donate to anything.
Right. Yeah. So look, that's how these things go. Like, that's why you can't, a dozen is not enough. You got to do it.
No, I know that. I just.
Well, now you know too, like if they want to do a donation, just no.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Yep. On to the next.
It's also like kind of tone deaf right now with, it's like the wrong thing to donate to right now at this moment, potentially. Right.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like thinking about COVID. And so but it's friction. Yep. It's just added friction. I got to think about that. There needs to be a way of benefiting. You can see what they're in it for. They want a donation, right? And so there might be another way to play that where it's not.
It's funny because it wasn't even a donation to them. They wanted a donation because they curate this group for elephants and elephant conservation and preservation, and say, hey, we want you to donate to save these elephants over here. And they pointed at this group and okay.
Well, do you know what you could say? Do you know what you can do? You could, here's an idea. You could say, hey, instead of doing that, like if this comes up in the future, right?
Right. Which I'm sure will.
Instead of forcing it on the users or the visitors or whatever you want to call them, right? The consumer, what you could do is say, here's what I normally do. I run a contest. And then for the people that don't win the contest, for the next like 3 days or 5 days or whatever it is, I give them a discount, to buy prints. And whoever buys prints during that period of time, I will donate 10% of the proceeds to this organization.
Okay.
Like you, right? And and you can. We have an article. Let's Marco. Let's get this in the show notes. There's a way to provide a link with a specific code on the end. We have an article that shows you how to do this. They're called UTM parameters, and you can okay. So UTM_source equals, and you can put like the name of whatever you want to do to identify them. And actually in the Art Storefronts backend, you can, in the sales section, you can see the sales by that marketing tag. So you can see exactly how much sales you got from it and all the orders. You can even export all of the orders for that marketing tag in the orders section as well. So you literally will end up with like a perfect, like, here's the total number of revenue that we did. And you could even send them a CSV file of the export. They'll feel like, if they did well, they'll feel that you're really professional about it. And if it worked, they'll be way more inclined to do that with you on a quarterly basis, which is what you want to do if any of these things turn out well.
And that's totally what's going to happen to every solitary person. Like, these people are they feel a sense of ownership and pride on these things that they built. So they're going to throw out all kinds of wacky little deals. And look, it's just how it's going to go. And
that's actually something that we should put in the playbook. Do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, this is another way of getting them to do it. Like a valuable page. It's like, hey, I'm going to give you a commission on the sales. Essentially, like it's just another incentive for them.
Yeah, I wouldn't make it more complicated in the ask. Like, the reason I left it loose is because I know each situation is going to be different, and there's literally going to be every single solitary thing imaginable. But yeah, would I be willing to give them a commission on a sale? You better believe it. Like, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Like,
you start with what you have in the playbook, right? Yeah. And then if that's not good enough, then maybe you go to something like this, Yeah. But if somebody asks you and they're like, I want a commission on the sales, if they said that, like as a reply, I would be personally way more inclined to want to do that, because I'd be like, okay, they feel like they've got something here. You know what I mean? Like they're like, okay, if I'm going to give you access, I want some of your sales. You're like, okay, cool. Like if you're going to say, if you think I'm going to get sales from this, this is awesome. Let's do this.
Let's get into an affiliate relationship even.
Exactly.
Start promoting me all year.
100%.
That's the whole point about the relationship, right? Like the whole point of this exercise is to find that winner, to find that winner, to build a relationship and have somewhere you can go back to the well time and time and time again, right? Like you pull that off and, you know, everything's on the table. So there we are. All right, Susan, you're up next. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a list of questions. One, is there an experience page that you guys can, or 2 or 3 that you could show us that, or tell us where to get to them so that we could see some that you know have done a good job at this?
Yeah, we haven't done, we released the feature and the pandemic hit, and we had a plan of like 8 different ways to use experience pages, and our team we haven't gotten to it yet. So we're going to do that. Okay. Pat, can I share my screen?
Yeah.
So
sure.
you don't know any of the artists that have done one yet that you've seen that
I do. I'm going to show you one.
Okay, awesome.
Hang on a second here, because I just saw this yesterday, so it's top of mind. I think I have this right. Yeah, so here's one right here. So you can see it's like full screen, right?
Right.
And you just kind of scroll down and you can just.
But this is the experience page. This is not necessarily addressing a giveaway.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is just like what it looks like, you know? So you can see as you scroll down, like the navigation appears, but that's what an experience page, it just gets everything out of the way and allows you to kind of tell a story and go down. In her case, she's doing it to sell commissions.
Right, but so far we don't have an example of someone that's done a giveaway experience page that you've seen that you like.
No,
necessarily.
Not yet.
Cool.
For the giveaways right now, you should use the template page that's in the back end. Like when you click add page, it's like there's ASF templates is one of the options down there. And if you click that, that radio button, a little drop-down menu will appear with all sorts of template pages. Like there's an artist bio page and there's a website giveaway page. I would just continue to use those.
Okay, cool. Second, I saw a couple of people ask this, and I'm still a little confused about this, what our goal for the end game is. So ultimately, I think we all would like their email addresses, right? Isn't that the plan to get this? Yeah. So all the experience pay, everything would lead to, they have to sign up to get this, right? That's the thing. And they go to the
Absolutely.
They have to sign up. Okay. And then I think I'm missing something on the playbook thing. Like I went into the resource vault and I keep looking and reading everything, and maybe I'm just missing the whole playbook thing. But like you've mentioned it a couple of times, and then I think maybe Chris or somebody put a link over here, and I had read everything I could find on giveaways, and then the link was to some page I've never seen, and I'm like, okay, am I like missing some big part of this somehow, like a playbook or something? So that's a question.
Well, let's answer that. Let's answer that, because we're always trying to improve the organization of all of these resources. It's a constant challenge.
So I go to the resource page, and that's where I go. And then I go to the resource page, and then I see the giveaway thing, and there's 2 or 3 links to different things there. So I printed all those out and watched all of those and studied them before this. But then I never saw that page that they linked to in the chat box. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it was
I do.
Yeah, and so I like bookmarked that as we were going. I'm like, okay, where the hell was that? So I wonder if I somehow missed a big part of this picture regarding a overall master volume playbook that I don't know where it is. That's my question.
I don't think so, because there's several types of giveaways. There's like a new website giveaway, right for brand, and then there's just a general giveaway playbook, and then this thing that Patrick's going over today involves a giveaway, right? And so I don't think you've missed it. I just think that since it's so brand new, it's been like in the show notes of these things that are, like we put a link to the show notes, like on the last one that you were just at. So it was linked in there, so you could have just found it. Otherwise, if you searched the vault, you probably would have came across it, but you might not have known that that's what this was.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. But if you have any suggestions as we continue along here of hey, can you put it here? This is where we'd love to know where you guys are generally looking. If like we're not hitting the right spots,
Okay, cool. That's awesome. And you guys are doing a great job. I mean, seriously, I don't even take a bath anymore that you're like in my ear. I'll be in there and y'all will go live. I'm like, oh shit. And I'll turn the thing on and I'll put it near the bathtub and I'm like listening to it. Cause, well, that is a question that's not related. Are you guys storing the IG things too? I mean, the Instagram things that you're doing, is there a place you're storing those? I wasn't sure. I found all the Facebook ones and everything.
Yeah, I'll show. Yes, I'll show that. I'll show that in a second too, because I got to show
And one
everybody
other
how to
thing,
get them.
do we have a script that we're not aware of?
You got to repeat that because it went all.
Oh, yeah. Do we have a script example somewhere that I'm not aware of?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can tell me where to find that, that's my last question.
Okay, Taylor, put it in the thing. The link to the existing page that we have now.
And then the name of the playbook. Okay, let's, can we write that in the chat right now so Susan can see it? Like, there's a name for this playbook. So and let's link to it. But it's I want to know exactly what the name of it is in the vault, so that it's easy to find. It's definitely one to just probably bookmark. Taylor, can you drop it in there as a comment?
And this video from today obviously is going to be on that page too. So
yeah,
you can always come back and watch this.
This video will be put on that playbook page, so permanently. Okay, so there it is. Step-by-step guide to collaborating with influencers in your niche.
Content curators.
Do you see it there, Susan?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Okay, great.
All right, Deborah, you're up.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I have a list, a short one, but I do have a list.
Okay.
I'm currently running two promotions with two influencers. One is one is actually finishing up today, and I did my first live. And what I did is I showed the actual painting, the original, all framed up with the special custom painting or the custom framing that I do. And so I posted that on my stories. And I've been kind of refreshing this as it goes along. I've been refreshing it, sharing it again on my Facebook, sharing it again on Instagram for these, because the first one that I started, it just sort of petered out. I didn't get a lot, but the second one that actually finishes today, I have gotten a lot of feedback. I've got a lot of signups. I think it's going to be a good one. And
how many signups did you get?
I think I'm up to 60 now.
Ooh. Yeah.
5 days. So
you get 60 signups in 5 days. Let me tell you, the sales are not going to be trailing too far behind. That's a very high intensity. So nice work.
Yeah, and what I was going to suggest, somebody had asked, how do you keep track? So what I've been doing is every day I go in and I pull up the people that have signed up, and I've built a special spreadsheet for them, and I place that information in there. So I'll just email that to the influencer so she can make her drawing this evening. It's all there, and it's easy for her. She can do however she wants to do that. That way she didn't have to keep track of it. But I contacted every individual with a personal email. As soon as they signed up that day, I sent them an email welcoming them, thanking them for joining the contest, and that I was excited that they, were interested in my art, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so I did that with this particular one. So I really hope I'm going to see some results out of that. But and that's
influencers, giveaways, hand-to-hand combat. I mean, I'm ready to crack a beer right now and celebrate. I mean,
wow.
Are you serious?
I am so pumped about this. I am
well done.
Thank you very much.
You're doing exactly what I would do. Like when we hear this, it's like, this is what we do. This is what we would do. That's why we talk about it. It's like, you only get so many subscribers. Like, it's so easy to send them a quick email every day, right? What do you get? Like 5 a day, right? Or when you're doing one of these things, you might be getting 10 a day or 12 a day. It's like 10, 15 minutes of work, but it's starting the best relationship with these people. It's just so smart.
So my question is, I put a 25% store-wide discount on my site right now. I did that yesterday, and I've been doing some romance emails and sending out different, I've been doing the MailChimp templates and kind of doing that type of thing. I announced my 25% store-wide sale. I want to do something special for the people that have been so engaged in this competition that are it's going to be done today, right? Should I go ahead and give them a special code for maybe an extra 5% so that they don't get just the 25%, they get 30%? What do you suggest I do? I feel like I'm layering a lot of things on there, and I'm almost worried that by doing a store-wide 25% sale, rewarding them just doesn't seem like that's enough, that they just would get that, because everybody would get that, right? What do you think?
Yeah,
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters either. There's not a hard and fast law. I mean, for right now, and especially as long as you've got a sail on the water, that's the motivation that's going to push them over the edge. Just go for it. You know you do.
Exactly. They're not thinking that deeply about it like you are. And we're in weird times right now where like sales should be happening. So just let her rip.
But I'll tell you, I'll say this much. Remember what I said about relationships. If you feel like the results are really good, you feel like you got some high buyer intents, I would wrap up something and send it to that influencer and just say, I just want to thank you so much. This was a great deal. It was really fun. I'd love to collaborate again in the future, and send her something nice. Cause again, then you can just keep going back and back and back.
This is, you know what, Taylor, let's make a note of this. Pat, I could not agree more.
That's the whole point.
Not agree more. This is where this is going, guys. You guys are all doing this for the first time, but the truth of the matter is when you get one that is working like Deborah does, right? Because you're going to get them. You got to realize that like the relationship with this person is key.
Yep.
Okay. Because you're going to want to do this every quarter. And every time you come back to that person, you're going to want them to be like, oh yeah, I love Deborah. Like, of course, let's do it again. Right. So they're basically a channel for you to sell stuff through. And so, you know, if it works out really well, you want to, like Pat said, like send them a print, like do something to make them really happy if it worked that well, you know?
Totally agree. It's all about the relationship. Lamore, you're up.
Hi guys, thank you for doing this.
How's the Zoom sale going, by the way?
I get a lot of, I like it and so forth, but I don't see any sales. So I'm glad you guys are talking us up, because it keeps me motivated and keep me going, because I know I'm new at it. So like I said,
and by the way, like that's why I bring it up. Like, do you know how many times I've fallen flat on my face with marketing initiatives? You get right back up and you do it again. And like the sales are going to be a fundamental part of any e-commerce business for the foreseeable future. Getting good at them, getting better at them, getting to know all the technology quicker, and your execution speed is a massive improvement, is a massive gain that you need to constantly be making. So when you're just running your first couple, like, you know, you want to start with high expectations, and you're going to do the best you can. But even if you don't sell anything, the first couple, like you're getting better at it. And then the next thing you know, the floor comes around and you're like,
I put out some of the quirky things that I've done, like sculptures. I'm not selling sculptures from my website, but I am a sculptor in previous life. So I put out some stuff that I've done, and people really like it. And I put out some videos. So to me, it's all an experience and doing things the first time. So the second time I do, it's easier. So I really appreciate you guys stirring it in the right direction, give us the experience. So I want to focus on doing commissions, and I'm trying to think about, I do people, and I did get a couple commissions recently. So if I look for people online, Facebook, on Instagram, what would I be looking? Because I don't have a specific thing to give away. I mean, I have done dogs, but there were people's dogs, certain people's dogs. And the same with people. You know, I've done old people and young people and middle-aged people, but there's real people. So what do you do in giveaways like that?
Well, don't you want to give away like a commission?
Oh, I can do a giveaway commission. Yeah, that's hundreds of dollars of work.
Yeah, you could do a small one. Like you could, you know what I mean? Like, is there a way that you could do one that's not as expensive for you to do?
Well, doing it digitally and printing it for me would be less of a time, because doing digitally is no cost involved in materials. So I can do digitally and then have it printed on whatever media.
There you go. And you could you just say, this is my simplest product that I'm giving away, but I also do, you know, all these other versions. But that's what the giveaway is, right? Is this one entry level?
It's quite an expensive giveaway.
Version. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah, we were talking with another gal the other day about this, and she can do commissions of anything, right? And we were like, right now is like a great time, because using this strategy and the fact that you could do a commissions for dogs, you know, or like pets, You can do it for people's homes. You can do it for almost any niche. And so you could do these in almost endless niches on, you know, Instagram and Facebook. So it's a pretty good weapon that you have.
Also, I wanted to, you mentioned a couple other things like the standard page versus the experience page. Like I did a commission page, like you shared how it's done. So, but I did it on a standard page, and I found it very difficult to move things around, to put the pictures in the right place.
Did you use the on-site content builder?
Yes, that was very difficult. I had to call Marco, and we walked through this, and even Marco was having a hard time trying to put the pictures in the right place and move them to center him. And it was very difficult. Is the experience page easier?
I don't think so. I've never heard that before. I mean, it's a pretty simple tool. I don't know what you were trying to do or what it was, but
yeah, I had a call with Marco. He was on phone with me for a while. We were just putting
What were you trying to do?
I was trying to put some columns and put some pictures together to fit the right way, and I don't know why it was so difficult. So maybe the experience page is easier. I don't know. I haven't used it yet.
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I got to make sure you're using the same thing that I'm talking about, because I can't imagine it being any easier. I want to look at it. So I'll ask Marco what it was. And I want to just make sure that you weren't using a different tool, because I mean, if you're just literally like putting images up and text and all that stuff, you know, it's really simple, and you should be able to make a beautiful page really easily.
Yeah,
so, unless you're going, I want an image here, you know, and doing some crazy things and making it super complicated, maybe, you know, the
template, the preset organization of how you put the pictures together, and if the picture format is not quite the right proportions as the one that is in the template, it starts moving things around, and try to putting them in the right place was very difficult. I don't know. It's very strict the way it was structured. Even Marco was having a little bit of time to figure out how to move things around. So I'm not sure what that is. And I just had the suggestions of you were asking how to organize all those different resources. Maybe having a thing where we can search, like a place where you can put in a few keywords and you can go into places would help.
Well, that's what the Marketing Resource Vault actually does. That's what that's for. So it's Vault. It's in the drop-down menu. Marketing Resource Vault. It's under Marketing Resources. And it's also vault.artstorefronts.com. And there's just a search bar right there. And you can search all resources right there.
Okay, I will look.
Okay. I will ask them, though. I want to know about your page. I'll ask them after this.
Okay. Joy, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, so just a real quick question. I do landscape photography. I also do mostly ocean sunsets. What would you say, aside from groups like, I guess, home decor or people that love sunsets? I'm kind of lost as to what groups, because I'm in a few groups and it's selling my art, it's selling my photography, and I'm in there with just a bunch of different artists. So I want to be in a group where I'm standing out.
Right.
So what would you suggest?
Yeah, again, you just have to get creative. I mean, I would use the individual beaches that you've done the sunsets on, or the individual cities that you've done the sunsets on.
Like Laguna Beach groups and that kind of thing?
Yeah, there's a bunch of Laguna Beach groups. There's a really cool one too. It's like Southern California sunsets, I think, on Instagram. Like Instagram, there's just like ad infinitum. Once you start going down the rabbit hole and riding those hashtags, kind of like I showed, like just start flicking through things. You'll find some stuff. You're like, whoa, look at this. It's crazy.
Right. All right, that's all I wanted, because I'm in groups, but they're groups with people like me, and that's not the right group.
Definitely not the right group.
Okay.
Yeah, and Joy and everyone else, like in searching for these groups, there's another way to think about it, right? Like you can invert the problem and put yourself in the shoes of your target customer. Okay, so in like Joy's case, that might be somebody who lived like a resident in Laguna Beach or Newport Beach or something like that. What are they following? What do you think they're following? Which Instagram accounts are they following? Which Facebook groups are they a part of? And think about it that way, because it's just an interesting way to kind of flip the problem, okay? Right. Now, Meg Knappenberger, who we had on Tuesday, so she paints, like various stuff, but one of the pieces of content that she does is Kansas University Jayhawks, right? And she told us, or she told me, that one of the influencers that she got was actually just like a super fan, Jayhawk super fan guy. And he was just, he wasn't anything special. It's like a guy who just loves Kansas Jayhawk basketball. And he probably was just, posting about it all the time. And so he built a big following, not intentionally, but he just loves to talk about it. And so she did a thing with him and sold a bunch of limited editions. Right? Mm-hmm. I think she ended up paying him like $75 or something like that. Right. Huh. So that's not like a content curator account. It's not even an influencer. It's like she thought about it and is like, wait a minute, my audience here for this piece is Kansas Jayhawk fans who are likely, alumni or whatever. And so she thought about it and she's like, so who are those people following? Right. The super fans are the ones who are going to buy her art. Right. And so she's like, they're going to follow that guy. He's one of them. Right. So if you think about it that way, then you might come up with some other ideas.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that helps. That makes sense. Thank you.
Sure. And I'm looking at the chats and I hear the tone of a bunch of these questions. For those people that are on video, raise your hand if you want to make a Wednesday workshop where we just go niche after niche after niche and show you how we would search. Yeah. Okay. I figured. All right. That could be something we could maybe do on one of the Wednesday ones or figure it out, but you can just throw your niches in ahead of time and like literally I'll just divide and conquer and do some searches. Taylor could even run that one, but I think it would be helpful too if we were hopping around all the different subject materials and writing the various different hashtags and looking. I'm feeling that's
when Stephen Cruz was talking about like how he started contacting like he was thinking about like surfers and bodyboarder and all that stuff, mm-hmm. That's what got me thinking that way. Cause it's like, if you think your target customer, like he has waves, right? If you think your target customer is somebody who would hang a wave on their wall or a piece of art with a wave on it, it might be those types of people. Then you put yourself in the shoes of those people and you go, who are those guys following? What is everything that they might be following? Because ultimately that's who you're trying to get after.
Yep. But before we get into more questions, because I saw a whole raft just went in, I want to show the Instagram thing quickly because I said I would and everyone's asking for it. I'm going to go live real quick so that might as well just make it all happen at once. Hold on. Kid is just howling out there. Hold on.
Do you need me for this or can I step away for a minute?
You can step away for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so let's make this full screen and then let's get my little phone up here. All right. Okay, so a couple of things. One, I'm on an iPhone. So if I swipe up from the bottom of the iPhone, this little Target application is screen recorder, right? In this world of lives, okay, and recording lives, there is an old Navy SEAL adage that holds true. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I mean, you always have to have the backup plans. This is what I'm doing on the lives. I'll hit this thing first. Why it's not working right now, I can't tell you. But that records my iPhone screen. What's great about that is it records the iPhone screen. What's not so great about that is that it doesn't bring the audio along. But let me just show you here. So I'm going to go ahead and go live right now because I don't have one of these that is saved so I can show you in real time. So there it is. I'm live. I'll let it go for a second. Have a nice, lovely look at my white wall. Hey, Ray. Nice to see you, bud. Okay, I'm just running a quick test here. So I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it now. I'm going to go ahead and share to story. Okay. All right. So that's in there now. And you can just minimize that down here. Just recently, and when I say just recently, like literally yesterday or the day before, Instagram released this new thing here. Okay. And I'm gonna take a shot at this, and this might go sideways. But I'm on the desktop version of Instagram.com, right? And this A2 Maker guy is online. So do you see how his story's going on here and the little chat window's going on here? So if I was inclined, I could get screen recording. I could get screen, I'm going to turn that nonsense audio off. I could get screen recording software and just record that version, okay? So I could record that version, no problem. Easy, just right here. And what's also interesting about that, how can I mute this? I don't even know how I can mute it. But what's interesting about that is that all of the comments now are going to come rolling down here if you actually had any comments. And so it's kind of a different view. And this literally just came out in the last day. So that's a very quick and easy way to do it. Extremely easy way to do it. What everyone else is doing, okay, is they're using in a Chrome extension. And Taylor, will you get this thing in the show notes? I got to find it here. Hold on. I think I turned it off. Just bear with me here while I find this. IG stories for Instagram. Okay. So I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to flip this here like this. And where did it turn it on? Did I turn it on? I thought I did. Hold on. Is that it? No. Sorry, bear with me here. Where did it go? IG stories for Instagram. I didn't turn it on. There it is. Now it's on. Okay. All right. You look like you're on. Are you on? I don't know what this is going on. Yeah, of course. I have this like master Chrome extension that allows me to toggle all the Chrome extensions. And right now it's just being a pain in the butt. Here, I'm going to just stop this for a second so I can close Chrome and restart it up so I can show you. Hold on. I just have the one window. Okay, bear with me. Why it's restarting. So 1, record it on the iPhone. 2, you can record it via a screen grab on the Instagram site. And 3 will be this thing if this thing cooperates. Nick, why don't you take a question while I'm doing this?
Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll unmute Linda. Linda, go ahead.
Thank you. I am a brand new member to Art Storefronts.
Welcome.
Like 2 days ago. So awesome. Just starting on my website and learning how to do that. But you were talking about competitions and giveaways. When do you run competitions, and explain how you do those? And when do you do giveaways? I mean, giveaways are pretty obvious, but.
No competition. I don't know if there was a, you're talking about commissions?
No, someone earlier was talking about competitions. And someone would win a print and then she would.
Oh, yeah. So we call that the giveaway. It's the same.
Oh, that's the giveaway? Okay.
Yeah. So in your case, Linda, we have every Wednesday, we have a marketing launch workshop for new members.
Okay.
That's where you want to start.
Okay.
So this upcoming Wednesday, I would go to that. You can also, I believe, watch the one that just happened on Wednesday if you want to like just kind of jump the gun because we record them. And I believe, let's get that in the show notes, you guys, for Linda. And so what happens on that is they'll do they're doing site audits and stuff like that on there too. And then they go over the new website giveaway, which is the first marketing initiative that we want you to do. And so you'll get all the resources right there for that. And they'll guide you for like how to, like exactly what you want to start doing on marketing to get off on the right track. Does that sound helpful? Exactly.
Get my website done, you guys audit it.
This might be like drinking from a fire hose because this is where you want to come after you've done that.
Okay. Well, as much
information as you should definitely hang out here and, and learn, and you're more than welcome everybody's welcome at every single workshop. So it's all good, but it can kind of feel like you're drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to do the best we can as people are onboarding to like just one chunk at a time. Right.
Okay. Thanks.
You got it.
Okay. I've got this thing spun up now. I had to read.
All right. Let's see it, Pat.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back here. Okay. So this is what it's called. It's called IG stories for Instagram. And you can just search IG stories for Instagram and you can get it. And so here it is. Here's this extension. You click it and you go to IG stories and you can see, you can search your individual name. Because I'm logged into the Art Storefronts account. Art Storefronts is pulled up. I go ahead and click this thing. It is saved. And I go download. This is the sort of annoying thing. Taylor has this working on his Mac. I don't think it's supposed to work for Mac, which I really don't understand. It only works for PC. But you go get downloader. What it does is it runs an executable file, and then you're able to download the individual video, and then you've got it. So the upside, like, and I'm going to teach us in the workshop. You guys have I'm just going to teach us next week because there's like a bunch of complicated stuff to it. But there's 3 options, right? So there's this one that I showed you. You could just record this whole thing, and this is like its own interesting view because again, if you have comments, they come streaming down there. The IG Stories one, it does not show any of the comments that you have. It's literally just it's the video and the audio. That's it. Like the comment layer is just not included. So that's another way that it potentially comes off. And I find I like having the comments. The comments add a lot to it. And so the iPhone version solves for that because you're actually recording your actual screen. So you have a couple of different options to get there. We're still experimenting with how the whole thing goes, but that's how I'm doing it. That's how I'm getting them down. No question. There's going to be a workshop on this next week to walk through all of this stuff. So that's what I got. That's how you do it. Good. Okay, Mark, go ahead. Stephen, I'll get to you at the end. Just everybody gets one question. Okay, Mark Stahl, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, that was just I raised my hand for the interest in
going through the niches. I got you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No problem. All good. Okay. Who did I just unmute? Did I unmute Muffy? Muffy, go ahead.
I know. I just put on there that I wanted to be part of that group. That I'd do a workshop, but
awesome. Yeah,
I'm getting a lot out of this. I'm just sitting here as we're talking, doing a list of interior designers. I'm just keep my Instagram beside me and writing stuff down as I'm watching you guys.
That's what we want you to do.
Thinking, like in your case, what I said earlier, I think is like think about your customer and who they would follow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like with that tropical art and like right. That'll give you a bunch of ideas of like subject matter to like try to find on Instagram or people, or influencers,
Yeah.
We might just have to do it.
Stuff too.
Yeah.
We might just have to do this thing on Tuesday, Nick. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
Kathy, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I actually didn't have a question. I was raising my hand because you had asked people to raise their hands.
Wonderful.
For,
Wonderful. I should have clarified. I meant on video. So.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody's learning all the time in these things. All the time in these things. Okay. Well, guys, let's leave it there. I think that covers it. This thing will live in the marketing resource vault. So this video will. So you can go back and you can watch it. And can't wait to hear how everybody does. And happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.